All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game taking place between Dise and Happy here on Hammerfall. Dise spawning as the blue orc on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Happy spawning as the yellow undead on the bottom right. Was looking for the ability to be able to swap the positions. I think the observer replay said that it was there, but I haven't really tried to look for it. Couldn't find it in 30 seconds. I said, you know what? Time is of the essence. Let's just go ahead and jump right into this game. Alright, Acolyte's getting trained up. A 6th Acolyte by Happy will be used to scout out things on the map. And well, we're just waiting for the heroes to pop out onto the battlefield, and then we'll see what is going to be done. Lich first coming in. Meanwhile, it is Farseer first, and it is a very, very aggressive, very aggressive tech to tier 2. Tech to tier 2 by Orc before the hero is out at the, around that 2-minute mark. And, well, the Farseer gonna go ahead and summon up those Spirit Wolves, try to place down pressure, finish off an Acolyte or two. One Wolf can, well, perhaps do a little bit of poking there. Meanwhile, this Farseer now making its way out across the map, regenerating some of that mana as those Wolves are making their way through again. Acolyte does get taken down. Farseer does get a little bit of that bonus experience early on, as we're now looking at the Lich trying to go after this Kobold Taskmaster creep camp. Frost Nova already down for to initiate the battle, and we're now going to see some damage onto that Lich, most likely. Lich trying to back away, knowing that it doesn't want to suffer too much, and meanwhile, this Ghoul is also taking quite a bit of damage too. Farseer Farseer trying to get some damage onto that Lich, or excuse me, not Lich, the Ghoul just needs to get one more shot off, and oh! Nicely done. Ritual Dagger to deny. And now we're looking at level 2 on that Lich now, as the Ziggurat is going to be suffering quite a little bit of damage. There's a beautiful deny going back the other way, trying to finish off that Ziggurat. Ziggurat does end up getting taken down, but the Spirit Wolf does give experience to that Lich. Farseer is going to try and resummon those wolves. He wants to, but 12-second cooldown. Not sure what he can really do. Perhaps going to aggro the creeps and then, well, bring the game along here as the Reef Elementals and other units there. There's some little bit of damage again. All right, resummoning up those wolves. Going to try and engage once more. There's a little bit of damage. That Snapper not going to do much as a Frost Nova goes down across the units again. All right, low hit point Ghoul. Well, trying to retreat back. Farseer doesn't have that much mana. We're going to look at that Ghoul while on Blight, regenerating mana again, and we're still seeing some damage come across here. All right, Farseer may be forced to retreat back. There should be a Voodoo Lounge currently under construction. Yes, there is, as the Farseer retreats back home. We are nearing the completion of Tier 2, and you can see Dise sitting on about 1,000 gold. You better believe there's going to be a good a bestiary to open things up now. But the downside for the Farseer is how low his hit points and his level is going to be here. All right, there goes that Hydra, now moving on to that giant turtle, and we are going into a Tauren Totem. All right, Tauren Totem Bestiary. So we are looking at Spirit Walkers and perhaps Raiders or Wind Riders. Seeing the Tauren Totem first kind of caught me off guard, as the Farseer looking to put pressure onto that Ghoul. Ghoul now retreating back. However, Lich gonna be perhaps getting very close to level 3, if not get there, and he has the Haunting of the Gold Mine already started. There's another Ritual Dagger use, as the Lich is just a sliver shy away from level 3. All right, continuing to try to go after some of these creep camps. That Sea Turtle hatchling, ooh, who's going to get the final shot off? And it looks as though, oh, damage onto that Ghoul. Ghoul is going to get taken down. And now that hatchling, one more shot. Yes, he gets it down. Lich is still sitting at level 2, and Lich may be able to finish it off. Is we going to see a deny? Yes, we do. But the Lich has more than enough to try and finish off this giant Sea Turtle. This could be really bad. If Happy gets the level 3, it could be Frost Nova onto the Farseer. Oh no, no follow-up Frost Nova onto the Farseer, as the Tauren Chieftain comes bearing gifts. All right, a little bit of damage. Tauren Chieftain, well, healing salve right there. We're looking at some damage. Oh, is the skeletal minion going to get the final shot off? No, it is not. Healing salve able to do its thing, as the Tauren Chieftain now does have Endurance Aura for faster attack speed. Level 3, level 1, we are going for those Spirit Walkers, and we are going for Raiders. Spirit Link is going to be incredibly important, as we are taking the Tier 2 now. There's going to be no easy way to dispel that Spirit Link. So, well, trying to focus fire down units going to be rather difficult, as the Lich is currently sitting at level 3. Farseer sitting at level 2 now. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 1. A plethora of item. Skeletal Minion out here on the battlefield. We're going to see a little bit of damage go down onto that Skeletal Minion. 1 or 2 more shots should be enough. There it goes as the Tauren Chieftain pulls back away here. Tauren Chieftain going to try and re-engage and attack. No Stomp yet, though, and no Shockwave. So that is going to be a big deal, as we should be looking at Spirit Link cast across all these units momentarily. Raider did get ensnared. That actually protecting him from damage from those creeps, as the Farseer purposely backs away to try to give that Tauren Chieftain plenty of opportunities to get all of the experience that he needs, now finally at level 2, also picking up a potion of greater healing. Ogre Warrior trying to, well, Ogre Warrior just trying to get back to where its starting position was. Tauren Chieftain now healing up once more. Tier 2 for Undead, halfway there. Meanwhile, Wind Rider is now getting added in addition to the Spirit Walker Adept training, and now clearing off this north side. Tauren Chieftain not showing any signs of an ability just quite yet. No Shockwave, no Stomp, just trying to clear out these creep camps and trying to do it efficiently. Where is that Farseer, though? Was the Farseer? No, Farseer is not here. Farseer is inside the base here, trying to put in pressure, perhaps take down a ghoul or two. And what is this Farseer going to do? He's actually ventured a little bit too far, and it looks like he's going to be forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal to head back out. Last thing you want was a Frost Nova to land on that Farseer, or, well, maybe if you're cheering for Happy, you were hoping for a Frost Nova onto that Farseer, but Farseer able to get away safely. Tauren Chieftain now very just shy of level 3, making its rounds out as well. Gonna dive into this Ogre Lord creep camp, and still has not shown any signs of what his ability is going to be just quite yet. All right, Forest Troll Warlord taking that damage. Wind Rider joining in on the battle here. That's going to be some, well, big poke damage from the sky. Level 3 now on that Tauren Chieftain. Also has a Wand of Mana Stealing that could be useful against that Lich. If you can deny or delay a Frost Nova, that could turn the tide of the battle. Farseer now just shy of level 3 as well. What is going to go down? I'm adding in a Goblin Sapper and perhaps going to try to, well, blow this entire front door wide open. Going to be difficult, though. A Spirit Tower and a Nerubian Tower. Lich is nearby. And there, well, can you, you can Spirit Link a Goblin Sapper. All right, so that's going to be an interesting point to note. There goes an Entangle, and the Goblin Sapper goes, you know what, I don't need to go anywhere. Altar of Darkness. Altar of Darkness could end up getting taken down, and there you are. Multiple buildings taken down, and the Death Knight is going to not make its way out onto the battlefield. Need to re-summon the Altar of Darkness here, and that's what's happening right now. Meanwhile, the Tauren Chieftain, well, is he going to go for Stomp or anything? It doesn't show any signs of anything here, as we're looking at a little bit of damage come back across. All right, in comes all of those ghouls. Stomp looks to be perfect, and it is going to be level 2 Stomp, stunning everything down right now. All right, level 3 now on the Farseer. Farseer could be, well, dancing back around. There's some more Spirit Link. There's a Frost Nova going down onto some other units again, as the Farseer looking to poke across once more. All right, Tauren Chieftain now finds another Crypt Fiend. That's going to get taken down. A Death Knight, well, still waiting to get trained up here, as we're looking at more and more damage lined up here. Dise is in some serious trouble. Obsidian Statues, however, could provide the necessary support. There is another ensnare, as the units are going to try to, well, dive into this position. They're all going to teleport into a different spot. Lich is now in that back corner position. Spirit Walkers, well, Spirit Link, Wind Rider trying to retreat back. There is a Stomp that did hit the Lich. That is going to be some big damage, but the Wind Rider does get taken out. Meanwhile, the Tauren Chieftain could try and do a little bit more. No, Farseer could be in trouble. Farseer down to 48 hit points. 29. He's going to get taken down, and the Tauren Chieftain, is he going to try and put his foot down? Does perhaps use a Wand of Mana Stealing. There's the foot down, and now, well, all the other heroes are gone. 26 to 29 supply. Happy has about 2,000 gold, though, and it is still anyone's game at this point, as the Tauren Chieftain is trying to back away and is stuck. Tauren Chieftain, Cloak of Shadows, and I believe Happy knows exactly what is going down here. Meanwhile, well, Gargoyle getting an ensnare there, gonna try and entangle, trying to finish off that Gargoyle once more. Tauren Chieftain, Goblin Zeppelin gonna elevator through the trees, drops back down. And now where is this Tauren Chieftain gonna run off to? Yep, there he goes once more. All right, so beautiful play. Dise doing something I was not expecting, hiring up a Goblin Zeppelin to be able to elevator him out of that drop location. We are looking at a training, or no, a resurrection of the Lich. I thought it would have been training of the Death Knight with a resurrection of the Lich at the tavern. Not the case. And that's pretty heavily invested. I think Happy's just going to try to get that level 4 Lich out from that Altar of Darkness instead. Meanwhile, Dise does have the expansion off to the north up and running as well. Happy has a slight supply advantage. And well, this game is, well, just still absolutely bonkers as the Farseer about to make its way out onto the battlefield. Tech to tier 3 now done. Farseer is going to be ready here. Tauren Chieftain, well, trying to get experience, trying to find the time to use himself well on the battlefield, as we see a large number of obsidian statues. The Destroyer form upgrade should be coming online momentarily, or is online already, and that's what we're going to be looking at. It's going to be Destroyers and ghouls just swarming out across the battlefield here. Lich now out on the battlefield. Do we see a Death Knight to follow up? Yes, we do. Lich did not pick up the Orb of Corruption. Well, nope. Tomb of Relics is actually at the expo. Picking up that Orb of Corruption now. Yep, there we are. There is 2 Destroyers in the air. Remember, though, Destroyers have negative mana regeneration, so I'm actually a bit surprised that Happy is doing all of this Destroyer transformation this early. You want every bit of mana that you can get on your heroes, as the Tauren Chieftain looks to try to get to level 5. It looks like Dice's Spider Sense was tingling as he brings in a large number of, or starting to train up a large number of Troll Bat Riders off of the dual bestiary that he's currently up and running. Coming back around, Troll Bat Rider putting in pressure. We're looking at Apprentice Wizard going to get taken down, but a potential Creepjack or a potential run on the expansion here. Ghouls just tearing apart all of the peons. The Troll Bat Riders need to find their target. There goes one, there goes another, trying to go after all of those targets. They're not going to be able to, oh, it does find a couple of Destroyers. Troll Bat Riders here once more, but they're pretty much now all gone. Tauren Chieftain now gets up to level 5, level 3. A Stomp could be in play here as the units are continuing to engage. All right, more attacking back up every which way. We're looking at low hit point ghouls. However, without enough Troll Bat Riders to challenge those Destroyers, it's not going to really matter. All right, Troll Bat Riders trying to challenge. Is it going to end up doing its thing? No, it's not. Frost Nova takes it down as the Death Knight comes in with Unholy Aura first for the faster movement speed to dodge those Troll Bat Riders instead. There's a Stomp now. Troll Bat Riders making their way over. There goes one. Are we going to see another? They are separating, though. Just, well, come on. There you go. Try to finish things off. Farseer trying to take down that Destroyer. Destroyer, however, constantly getting healed by the Obsidian statues as the Farseer, well, unable to get that one Destroyer down to 28 hit points. Farseer continuing to move around the back here. Destroyers continuing to try and chase. And the Spirit Walker making its way back down. All right, Spirit Walker gets taken down here. Obsidian Statues now making its way back. Tauren Chieftain wants to go after the Lich and the Death Knight. Remember, the Death Knight does not have Death Coil. Lich does have a Scroll of Town Portal, and now continuing to do it a little bit more damage. Farseer perhaps going to try and get in a... Oh, there's a Stomp. Is that Lich going to get taken down? Yes, it does. Chain Lightning, level 5 Lich falls. Happy forced to retreat at 57 over 80 supply. Spirit Walkers now moving back. Dise, 3,800 gold here. All of these peons were lost and now trying to get trained back up out onto the battlefield. But I think the follow-up maneuver by Happy is going to be far too much. Army size difference too large. Dise getting kills on heroes, forcing TPs, but forcing TPs doesn't win you games necessarily, especially when you are already behind by 29 supply. All right, Death Knight finally realizing, wait, maybe I should have gotten Death Coil first, going straight for this Rock Golem Creep Camp. Lich purposely hanging back, making sure that he doesn't take any of that experience away from that Death Knight. And once that Death Knight is at level 2 with Death Coil, being able to burst heal that Lich. I think, well, Happy will be making its way over for that crucial finishing blow. All right, Troll Bat Riders are going to find their way through. They're trying to find their way through. There goes one. There goes a Destroyer. Chain Lightning Stomp. Death Knight could be in a little bit of trouble. All right, Tauren Chieftain does have a Potion of Greater Healing. However, the Farseer may be the one who needs it. We're seeing a lot of damage. Potion of Greater Healing not transferred in time. There is a Stomp, but, well, that Potion of Greater Healing should have been on that Farseer. That Farseer needed that insurance buffer of hit points just a bit more, considering the Tauren Chieftain also has +9 armor. Back off to the north. 34 supply compared to 58. Ghouls are just going to run in, claw their way through all of those poorly exposed peons. Lich perhaps going to try and Frost Nova down something here. There goes a quick ensnare onto Happy. Now Stomp, however, well, Potion of Invulnerability greatly protecting from that as well. Another Scroll of Healing. Tauren Chieftain now finally out of mana, trying to go after a low hit point Ghoul with Frenzy, so he's actually outpacing the Tauren Chieftain after all that time. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below. Here are the final scores.